Do the wise thing, the next right thing. How to determine your next steps in life. Who's ready? Let me know in the comments section if you're ready. Who's ready to walk with me through the Word of God today? It's conversation time. Anyone. And I want you to be really honest, if you don't mind. I want you to be transparent. Can you do that? If you can be honest, and if you were to be transparent, how many of you all lately or have at some point you woke up still tired? Come on, let me know in the comments section. You woke up and you went to bed early. You may have even gotten 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep. You went to bed early, you got ample hours, but when you woke up, you were still tired. If that's you, come on. Let me know in the comments section. Let me know in the comments section. I'm going to help you out. Pat says it's me. Okay, Pat. Lyndon says guilty. Miss Ardella says yes, has a finger up. Lisa agrees with me. You get to bed early. You get enough hours of sleep, but you wake up and you're still tired. Now that's category one. Category one, Denise, that's category one. How many of you can't even get to sleep because your mind is restless? That's what First Lady tells me. She has trouble falling asleep because her mind is always spinning. If that's you, come on, let's have a moment of transparency. Drop that in the comments section. Look at that. We have a lot of people saying yes to both. I get enough sleep. We have people saying I go to bed early. Then we have the other group saying that I can't even fall asleep because my mind is racing. That's right, Collier. That's what my wife says. Can't turn the mind off. There's another category. The third category are the people, you fall asleep, but you wake up, your sleep is broken. You might fall asleep for a couple of hours and all of a sudden it's a sound or whatever, and you're up. And you try to go back to sleep, but you can't go back to sleep. So you are either in that category. That's right, Eric is in that category. I fall asleep and I wake up a few hours later. That's category three. What if I told you that I know why? Or better yet, I've discovered why you fall in your respective category. Stay with me. I'm gonna let you know in 1 second. The reason that you are in category one, you sleep enough, you go to bed early enough, wake up tired. Category two, mind is racing, can't fall asleep. Category three, you fall asleep, but a couple hours later, you are up, you can't fall back asleep. Could I help you out today? Stanford University did a study, and they've come to help us realize that adults unconsciously make 35,000 decisions daily. 35,000 decisions on average that you make each and every day. These are the things that you are embedded in the subconscious that we do unconsciously, like blinking, breathing, getting out of the bed, going to the restroom, getting dressed. We make these decisions unconsciously because they're embedded in our subconscious, and we make that many decisions daily. Now watch this. 35,000 decisions a day, coupled with the things that are pressing on our minds. You know, the heavy stuff that we carry with us, the heavy stuff that we have to have answers to. You know, the heavy stuff. Well, if we don't make a decision about it, it could come back and impact our lives significantly. The heavy stuff. Now, you have the heavy stuff on your mind, you know, like mortgage payments or tuition payments or a better job or an ailing relative or a sick parent or a wayward child. You have all of this on you plus the $35,000 decisions already on your mind. So you're already mentally fatigued by what's happening unconsciously. And then you wrap the heavy stuff that's on your mind. Now you're dog tired. That's why you wake up tired. That's why you can't go to bed at night because the mind is still racing. That's why you either pop up out of your sleep after falling asleep, because you are making 35,000 unconscious decisions daily, which are embedded in the subconscious. Now you've got to wrestle with the main stuff. Now, this is why these stories I'm about to tell you are so important. So I want you to listen real carefully. Lisa, I want you to listen real carefully, because I need for you to tell me what these three stories have in common, all right? Let's go there. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to the Word of God together for the people of God. Now, the first story is in Luke chapter 5, verse 17, where Jesus heals a paralyzed man. Now, the scriptures say that one day Jesus is teaching. Pharisees are there. Students of the law are there listening. And the text says they had come from every village of Galilee, from Judea and Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was with Jesus to heal the sick. Check this out. Then some men who were carrying a paralyzed man on a mat tried to take him to the house where Jesus was. But when they could not find a way to get in, it says they went up on the roof, lowered him down on his mat through the tiles in the middle of the crowd, right in front of Jesus. They made a way out of nowhere. Here it is. Pay attention. When Jesus saw them, he said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." Pharisees and the teachers of the law began thinking to themselves, "Who is this fellow who speaks blasphemy? Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Now, Jesus knew what they were thinking. He says, "Why are you thinking these things in your hearts?" I'm going to jump down to verse number 24. And I want to see if you see it. First clue. Y'all ready? He says, but I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. Watch this. Here it is. Clue number one, Tim. So he said to the paralyzed man, I tell you, take up your mat and go home. Let's stick a pin right there. First clue. The man had a vision of one day walking. They bring him to Jesus, who's known to be a healer. Jesus forgives sin. But after the miracle, he tells the man, take your mat and go home. God, I love your word. Somebody shout it out with me. First story. Man, that's some good stuff right there. All right, you all, let me tell you a second story. Jesus heals the 10 lepers in Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 19. Now, in Jesus healing the 10 lepers, now, this is a good story because it says, now on his way to Jerusalem, he traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. Okay? Going into the village, 10 men who had leprosy met him and they stood at a distance. Now, I've taught exhaustively on this. Lepers were the outcasts, the ones who had to tie bells upon their clothing so that whenever they walked, the bells would go off to let folk know that a leper was in the vicinity. They were thrown out of the village, and because they were thrown out of the village, they had to yell unclean. And so here's Jesus to show them that although society has written you off, I have not. Look at what he says right here. In verse 13, they called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. Watch this. Here's the second clue that has in common with the first story. Come on, y'all, lean in. Check this out. And when they saw him, verse 14, he said, go and show yourselves to the priests. Come on, who knows? What do these two stories have in common? And as they went, they were cleansed. They had a vision of being clean from leprosy. Jesus knew that they had a vision to be cleansed of leprosy. So Jesus performs another miracle. They're cleansed. Go and show yourselves to the priest. Man, y'all ain't playing with me today. All right? That's the second story. Now, I want to tell a third story. And the third story, you all, if you don't have it by now, then I'm going to go ahead on and cut across the yard and help you out. Third story. Y'all ready? Third story. Let me know in the comments section. Y'all ready? All right. Third story. Let me see. He heals the 10 lepers. Then he heals the paralyzed man. Here's the third story from Luke chapter 8, verses 40 through 56. God, I love your word. Woo! I need you to know, what do these stories have in common, Miss Idella? I'm going to get back to that. Stick a pin in your statement. Now, the story, Jesus returned from the crowd, and the crowd welcomed him, for they were all expecting him. Now, a man named Jairus, he's a synagogue leader. He comes and falls at Jesus' feet pleading with him to come to his house. And as Jesus was pressing his way to Jairus' house, Bible readers know the story. A woman with an issue of blood, a woman who had been bleeding for a very long time, touches Jesus' garment. Not his full garment, but the fringe. Now, I can't preach about this today because I'm on something else. Jesus feels the healing power go from his garment, heals the woman. So on his way to an assignment, he's interrupted. Performs another miracle. And then he gets to Jairus' house. The mourners are there, the professional mourners. You know, they would have professional mourners who would come by one's house to cry and to wail and to raise up the sympathy, to raise up the emotion. So when Jesus walks in, Jairus is still said, okay, this is the God-man. He can heal, he can set free, he can deliver. And Jesus basically comes in and says to him, your daughter is not dead. She's just asleep. Now the professional mourners are laughing at Jesus because the girl is dead. No pulse, nothing. And when he arrived to her house, verse 51, watch this. He did not let anyone go in except Peter, John, and James, Jairus, and his wife. And Jesus says in verse 52, she is not dead, for she is asleep. They laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. Jesus took her by the hand, verse 53. My child, get up, verse 54. Her spirit returned, and at once she stood up, verse 55. And then Jesus told them. This is it. Clue number 3. Jesus told them to give her something to eat. Jairus had a vision for his daughter to be healed. Jairus' wife had a vision for her daughter to be healed. Jesus knew the vision, heals her, and immediately says something that is quite astonishing. Give her something to eat. Come on, you all. What do these three stories have in common? Jesus heals the paralytic, Jesus heals the 10 lepers, and Jesus heals Jairus' daughter. What do they have in common? Come on, you all. I see a few comments here. Betty says Jesus is a miracle worker. Adela says they pressed their way in spite of it all. She goes on to say they all have faith, hope in spite of their pressing situation. Man, that's some good preaching stuff, you all. I'm going to save all of that. Now, let me help you out. Come on, lean in, because I got one point that I want to make, and I'm about to set you free. Y'all ready for this? Come on. I got one point that I need to make. When Jesus heals the paralytic, the lepers, and raises Jairus' daughter from the dead, it jumped out at me, Annie. And I began to scratch my bald head, Lasonda, because here's what I discovered. He didn't give them a 5-year plan. He didn't give them sequential steps to take after performing the miracle. And I think Jesus knows something that we should understand. He knows something about us, because if Jesus would have gave them a 5-year plan on how to live a better life, like the other 9 lepers, they wouldn't have come back. So he gives no plan. He tells the paralytic, Dude, get your bed and go home. He tells Jairus' wife, fix us something to eat. He tells the 10 lepers, go show yourselves to the priest. I'm getting excited about this because I know where I'm going. Can I go ahead on and help y'all out and land this plane, you all, because you've been so good. Now, that sounds puzzling to me. No 5-year plan, no master class, no sequential steps. But here's something that I did discover. And that is, you don't have to understand everything to do the next right thing. Every step that Jesus told them was something ordinary. Basically, he's saying, get back to your life. Get back to doing things that you know how to do. Get back to doing the things that you were doing, because he knows this. Digital pastors, help me out. See, unmade decisions, they hold power. Because every decision that we make earns the favor of some and the disfavor of others. Everybody's not going to be happy with your next decision. And so when we don't make a decision, here's the reason why. See, I'm about to bless you, Kim. Y'all better write this part down right here. I'm about to bless you in E. The reason we can't do the next obvious thing, because we want that 5-year plan. We want that 3-month plan. We want it all spelled out in detail so we can grab Jesus's plan and bounce on him. So he says, no, get back to doing what you were doing. Because Jesus understands that we have an addiction to clarity. Y'all didn't write that down, did you? We have an addiction to clarity. See, we won't move unless we can explain it. I know what God told me regarding going online. And I'm the type of person, I need to have plan A, B, C, and D, because Lord, I got to explain something these folk ain't never seen. I've got to explain something that's nebulous. I've got to explain something, you all, that cannot readily be explained. Jesus said, don't worry about that, boy. Get up, turn on your computer, and stream. You don't have to understand everything to do the next right thing. We're addicted to clarity. And sometimes you just don't have an answer. I don't know why God called me to move in this space. I don't know why he's gifted me to move in this space. I don't know why it seems easy to me, but it's hard for others. I just don't know. All I know is do the next right thing. See, we're addicted to clarity, and we also are addicted to understanding. We want to understand something before we move on something. When he healed the paralytic didn't say, hey, Jesus, could you explain to me how the healing took place? I need a medical term, a biological term. Jesus says, no, just pick up your mat and walk. Well, Jesus, what did you do to circumvent death in my daughter? No, go fix the girl something to eat, for after all, she been dead. She probably hungry. You don't have to understand it before we can move on it. And so I'm going to drop this on you and I'm going to leave you. Y'all all right? Man, y'all ain't letting me know nothing in the comments section. I'm going to let you out. All right, here it is. See, here it is. Here it is, Erica. We're looking for answers to feed our clarity and help with our understanding. He doesn't move like that. Because if he gave you and gave us complete answers, Kim, why would you need faith? But what he does, instead of giving us answers, he gives us arrows. Teach Clarence Edward. He gives us arrows. And arrows can be defined by our appetites and our desire. If you want to know what the next thing it is that God is telling you to do, check your appetite. That's an arrow. You don't have the answers. You don't have all the answers. It's not all figured out. But what you do know is that your appetite has changed. And the things that you used to like, you don't like them anymore. The things that used to bring you joy no longer bring you joy. Because your appetite has changed. And that's an arrow to let you know, follow your appetite. I knew God was calling me into this space that I'm in now because my appetite changed. I couldn't do them 3:30 services no more. I couldn't do those prayer breakfasts anymore. I couldn't do all of those banquets and things like that anymore. He changed my appetite. Now, I'm not against those things. Those things just don't feed me. My appetite changed. That was an arrow. So what's the next thing? I just started learning all that I could about this. I start dabbling. I start experimenting. I start doing all of these things because my appetite changed, because that's an arrow. And then the second arrow are your desires. What brings you joy? Certain things that I grew up in didn't bring me joy anymore. Became a burden. And so God says, I'm not going to give you the answer, Stowers, because I still want you to walk by faith and not by sight. But what I will do is point you with arrows in the direction that you need to look at. Look at your appetite. Look at your desires. What brings you joy? What makes you burdened? And so that's why his word says, it's a lamp to my feet, and a light unto my pathway. So he wants us to follow him daily so that we can trust and depend on him. Now, I've gotten comfortable with saying, I don't know. I don't know where God is leading. But I do know I ain't going back. I do know my appetites change. I do know my desires have changed. And so what I do understand is that when you ask God for clarity and you ask God for direction, then like he told the paralytic, the 10 lepers, and Jairus' wife, get up and do the next obvious thing. And here's why you get up and you get back to life. You get up and you get back to life. You get up and you get back to life. I want you to catch this. I don't want you to miss this. Because as long as my hands are busy, those are the moments when God keeps our minds open. And it's while you are in the process of doing, God will download into your mind the next step. Are y'all hearing this? And if you're hearing this, come on, let me know in the comments section. Man, I'm going to dive deeper into this Wednesday in my masterclass at 7 p.m. So come on and join me, man. Y'all got a brother working today. Man, where you help today? Come on, let me know in the comments section where you help today. So check your appetite. Check your desires. Those are the arrows. Not the answers, the arrows. where God's pointing you, and then get up. If you got to go to work the next day, God ain't called you to quit your job. You get up and you get back to doing what your life entails. Keep your hands busy and your mind open and watch how God clarifies. God, that was a master class. Oh my God. Were you blessed today? I pray that you were blessed today, man. Come on, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what stood out today. And then let me know what your next moves are. As you get ready to put that in the comment section, let me pause and say, hey, I would love for you to be a part of our church family. I want you to consider that if you don't have a church family, it's a good place to start growing. It's a good place where the scriptures come to life, where we build that bridge from what Jesus said to where we are today. How do we make this practical? You got some practical stuff today. Because I want you to live in Ephesians 3:20 life abundantly every day. How do you become a member of Mars Hill? If you're watching on YouTube, go to the stream, go to the description, and then fill out that connection card and send it back to us. And then for those of you who are watching on Facebook, Digital Pastors have already dropped in the comment section the connection card link, so fill that out. Send it back to us. Then we can get you plugged into a group. Then we can get you plugged into serving in some capacity. And I guarantee you, you will enjoy this experience. So what stood out? I'm headed back over to the comments section, and I want to know what stood out today. And then, oh my God, y'all are on it. Oh my God, great word today, Pastor. Thank you very much. Pat says, keep busy so God can give me an open mind. Oh my God. Thank you, Pastor, for yet another mind-blowing message. Thank you, Lisa. Look at that. What stood out? What stood out to me is addiction to clarity and understanding for making a decision. My God, that's worth it right there. That's worth staying on the stream right there. That one point was worth staying on the stream. Don't search for clarity, search for arrows. Ooh, brother, you are on it. My God. Gwendolyn says, check your appetite. The desires change. Yes, they do. Man, y'all join me because I'm going to dive deeper into this on Wednesday doing that masterclass. But man, what a word. That word blessed me. And I know if it blessed me, it blessed you. Stephanie says, get up and do something else. Thank you. That's right. Get up. Once you acknowledge, Lord, my appetite has changed. My desires have changed. I'm looking for the arrows that'll point me in the direction you want me to go. But in the meantime, I'm going to get up. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work. I'm going out with my friends. I'm getting back to life. Because when I keep my hands busy, keep my mind open, then it's going to start like pointing you towards your desires and your appetite. There's some good stuff, Clarence Edward Stowers Jr. Well, thank you, Clarence Edward. All right, let me see what else you all have. Let me see what else you all have placed in. My God, y'all all right. Check your arrows for directions. That's right, my brother. Yep, Pastor, you definitely helped me. Today's message was awesome. Takesha says, great message. Margaret Lee, thank you, Pastor. I was blessed. All right, I did my job, you all. I did my job. Man, in case you all missed us earlier, we talked about giving and how you can be a blessing to Mars Hill. And I believe this is a great place to sow a good seed. So if you like mailing in your gift, you can do it. The P.O. Box 6159, River Forest, Illinois 60305. You can go to our website right now, marshillchicago.org/giving. And you can text MHGIVE to 33777. So simple to give. And as we continue to ramp up our in-person services, now that we're entering into Q2, weather breaks a little bit, we're going to add more services, y'all, which requires more resources, y'all. And we ramp this up slowly because I need you to let your money catch up with the vision. And so we want to get back to full-time, full service, you all. So giving dictates when we can do that. Giving dictates when we can do that. And I pray that you will sow a good seed. And lastly, the ministry that God has given me, I believe is unique. And God has given me a great ability to take the scriptures and make them relevant, to show you how to apply them to your lives so that you get better. And when you get better, your family gets better. So they call me to do with the food, and that's what I do. I feed. I lead and I feed. And if I'm effective in leading and feeding you, then the law of reciprocity says you can turn around and feed a brother by sowing into my ministry. You help me get better. I take what you give and I invest in books, courses, seminars, webinars, you name it, because I want to be the best that God has called me to be. So we have it through Cash App, through Zelle, through PayPal. Screenshot that. Next time we come through, I'm going to put some QRC codes up so you can just QRC it. We'll do that with our giving too. Give us a moment. We're going to figure that one out. All right? Thank you all. Thank you all for joining, and I can't wait to see you all Wednesday. Hey, for those who don't know, we post the message only now on our YouTube channel, and that usually is up by Sunday night or Monday morning at the latest. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do it so you'll know when we go live. Thank you all. What a day. God, I love your word. God, I love your people. And with that stated, now may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and be gracious to you. And as you get ready to take your next step, I pray that God points you to where your appetite has changed, your desires have changed. And then you can get up and do the very next step. Now may the grace of God, sweet communion of his Holy Spirit rest in you now and forevermore. And all the people of God, come on, let's say it together. Amen. God bless you all. I will see you all this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, as we continue to unpack decisions. Now go out and be great and have a great week. Praise God and amen.